Welcome everybody to a look at a new Arrow video release, and it is 1970s The Invisible Swordsman. So directed by Yoshiyuki Kuroda, who also did two of the yokai monster films, Spook Warfare and Along with Ghosts, as well as the sixth and final film in the Lone Wolf and Cub series, White Heaven in Hell, although that for me is probably my least favourite of the series. But yeah, this is a fantasy film clocking in at 78 minutes long. The only leading actor I've seen in anything substantial is Osumi Sakae, although he does actually play the lead role in this film. He was in two of the Satucci films, Satucci the Outlaw, where he had a small role, and Satucci at Large, where he had a much bigger role. So, yeah. So, in Edo era Japan, Sanshiro diligently hones his sword fighting technique at the Kendo dojo, but no amount of practice can hide the fact that he is both clumsy and cowardly. When his samurai father falls prey to a gang of murderous phantom thieves while on night watch duties, Sanshiro is drawn to the banks of the Sanzu River that separates the worlds of the living and the dead. Here he encounters a strange being that introduces itself as a Shokira. The otherworldly apparition offers advice on how Sanshiro can avenge his father with the aid of a mysterious potion with the power to turn him invisible. But first, Sanshiro must gather the ingredients, and his father's killers might be closer to home than he thinks. So, yeah, this is ultimately a more comedy-based effort than I expected, which isn't to say that isn't any violence or anything in it, but as you can see by the rating of a PG, it's not bloody violence at all. There's people that die, but it's not the main focus. Don't go into this thinking it's going to be like a Tucci film, for instance, where they got really rather quite violent in their later period. But yeah, the pacing is also on point. To be honest with this, and the comedy element does ultimately work with this film, as it does make it entertaining, while it also has a few laughs, and it is charming how the titular character and their actions are shown on screen, as it isn't really as special effects heavy as you might expect. A lot of it is just props being moved around via wires and such like that, which are shown at times due to the new transfer that this has obviously had, but for the most part, they aren't. It isn't instantly obvious, but unlike say the Invisible Man from the early 30s, yeah, it's a lot less reliant on special effects, although there are still some there. It also doesn't outstay its welcome. The production is solid, it is generally engaging, the cast is good, and the method of how the invisibility is achieved, though complicated, as there are three ingredients that are needed to be got, and there's a whole process of actually making the thing. Um, it is nonetheless easy to follow in terms of the rules that come with taking the potion, as it is not a permanent solution to becoming invisible. It is only a temporary one, and yeah, that in of itself also aids in tension and mounting stakes. So yeah, overall a reasonably good effort, to be honest. Kind of enjoyed this quite a fair bit more than I expected overall, especially given I figured with it only being 78 minutes long it wouldn't have much to it, but there actually is, and yeah, I found it overall to be quite enjoyable. Would I have yeah, enjoyed it more had it been a bit more violent and a bit more special effects heavy? Maybe, but still overall a good enough effort. And yeah, we've got new artwork commissioned by Jolyon Yates. So I'm not sure if that's the new artwork or the one that is on the reversible sleeve. I believe this is most likely the original artwork, and the sleeve, which is also this artwork is also available in the background, as you can see. So you can just change it over if you wish, but I never see the point in having a slipcover with the new artwork and then changing the sleeve cover on the Blu-ray around. So yeah, I keep one the other way and one the other. And then we also have a booklet, again with the new artwork on the front, and then a shot from the film. So inside we have your cast and your crew, then we have Now You See Me by Zach Davison, and then about the presentation and production credits. So inevitably there are shots from the film in this. And even though there is quite a comedic tone to this, like I said, it is also heavy on the fantasy as well, which is no bad thing. So yeah, it is overall well done. It is only a 3.5-star film though, like I said, like I think I said, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad film just because it's not a 4 or higher. So this is presented in its original aspect ratio of 235:1 with mono audio, and the high definition master was provided by Kadakawa. So yeah, there we go. And yeah, on the disc itself, we've got a high definition 1080p Blu-ray presentation. Looks and sounds great, no issues at all there. Original lossless Japanese mono audio, optional newly translated English subtitles, brand new audio commentary from author and Asian culture expert Jonathan Clements. The Invisible People, a brand new interview with film critic Kim Newman on the history of invisibility in cinema. Phantom Fighter, a brand new interview with film critic and Japanese cinema expert Jasper Sharp. And then an image gallery as well as the physical extras that I've already shown you. So, yeah, this I think we've had something in this kind of vein before from our video, um, but I am at a loss to immediately find it because I have so many other goddamn things. Um, but yeah, we've had Japanese special effects heavy stuff before, and yeah, overall I do really rather enjoy this, even if it could be longer, could have a bit more depth to it, could have a bit more violence to it as well to really amp up the stakes. Because at the end of the day, like I said, people do die, so I'm not quite sure why they went for a more sedate, violent tone to it. Maybe they just wanted to protect the fantasy element and maybe even cater towards more younger people. But regardless, yeah, it works, and yeah, a bit of a surprise that it works as well as it does, quite frankly, as I didn't even know initially that the director had done a few films before that I have enjoyed, even if I've not enjoyed them quite as much as, say, other films in the series or similar efforts as well. So, yeah, but I do highly recommend it if you haven't seen it already. It is also going to be available on our video player, so if you're not up for spending the money to buy it, then you can get it on the player as well to watch it. It's well worth watching regardless of how you do actually see it. But nonetheless, thank you for watching regardless. If you have seen the film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.